John Maurer.
Yep. Great
John,
to see you guys today.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Escanaba, Michigan, but now I live here in Glendora, California.
Just recently joined us back here, right?
It's a little less than 2 years ago.
Right, and you're the pastor here at?
Foothill Vineyard Church.
We love Vineyard. It's been my home church for, gosh, like 15 years probably, because Nathan's my cameraman today. Thank you, Nathan. I always love having you as my cameraman. And Nathan started here at Vineyard when he was 6 years old. He asked us one day, Mama, who's Jesus? And that's what brought us to the Vineyard, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a super cool question, and it's what started our journey, our spiritual journey with God and the church and everything that we've experienced. You have been my second pastor in all of this, right?
Yeah.
And so you're brand new, and what I really wanted to talk about today was this crazy COVID-19 business and everything that it's doing within the church and how it's going to impact the church, and then the fresh look that we're going to have after we come out.
Yeah.
So tell me right now, what's going on inside the church? What are you guys doing since your doors are physically shut to visitors?
Yeah. One of the things I've been telling our people about Ori is that even though we can't meet on our physical campus, that doesn't mean the church shuts down. No, we are the church, and this can be our finest hour if we would actually stand up and rise up to the challenges before us. And so I've been encouraging our people to just be a great neighbor. We want people to be connecting with their physical neighbors, such things as like, there was a lot of people in our church that wrote notes to their neighbors and just stuck them on their door and said, hey, any way I can help, including toilet paper, food, you let me know, we'll be there for you. We've been feeding people because a lot of people are on jobs right now, Lori. So we have a food bank here. We've been helping people. People stop by, like quite a few people every single week, and we're just able to fill up some grocery bags and just say, here you go. We've also, one of the great things, a good friend of mine, Gar, she put together, I think now we're at the point of about 250 first responder care packages, including homemade masks and food and water, and just a way to celebrate our first responders that are out there doing on the front line. So
let me get it clear here then. So just because our doors are physically closed and people can't actually come in, we're still churching in the community, right?
Yeah, we are the church. I mean,
love that.
We're the hands and feet of Jesus in our community right now, loving people, serving. That's what it means to love your neighbors yourself in the middle of this. And so sometimes I think I've had to help our people understand we cannot back away in fear. Like, we can't. Fear kills us, and it kills our spiritual lives. It kills relationships. It kills everything it touches. And so we have to maybe use wisdom, but we don't have to give in to fear. We do not have to do that. And so we've been out there just being the hands and feet of Jesus in real practical ways. And I'm super excited to be able to move forward and actually start to meet physically. But the church has not been on pause the last 2 months at all. We've been just moving forward, claiming territory. The kingdom of God is always on the advance, and we've been doing that.
I love that because, some people can come from a perspective. I had posted on my Facebook about our conversation we were going to have today. I had posted, what's the deal? The government's closed the church, and yet the church is still overcome. You may have physically closed our doors, but you haven't stopped us from moving God's kingdom forward, is what I'm hearing, which I think is just the most amazing thing. So I'm going to ask the next question then. How are people doing spiritually these days? What are you guys seeing? What are you, as you were talking with the other pastors and the community and the congregation, are people still maintaining their spiritual lives, or are they having some spiritual warfare and some challenges?
Yeah, to be honest, Lori, things have been really difficult. So one of the things that I've seen, I've gotten a lot of calls about addictive behaviors that have just kind of taken over. I've gotten a lot of calls about depression and like life's not normal. Humans were not meant to be isolated behind a closed door. It's not how we're designed by God. Community is like oxygen. We die without it. And so I understand that there was a season where we had to say, okay, let's be cautious and careful. But there's a certain point where we just have to say, let's figure out how to move forward. Let's be in community. Let's love each other. Let's be in each other's lives. So community is way too important to just let it go. And so there is definitely a huge lack of spiritual formation, a huge lack of being able to connect with God in meaningful ways. And even though we're doing our live Sunday morning stuff, it's just not the same as the Bible says that iron sharpens iron.
I heard that this morning on John Maxwell.
Yeah, and there's something about us being in each other's lives that does that. And so that's really lacking right now. And so we're trying to figure out what's our response, how do we move forward? I also think that the church has been it's a really unique situation because we've never, in American history, we've never been asked to just close our doors to people.
Yeah.
And even though we have an online presence, it's just, like I said, it's different. But I do think, in hindsight, we're going to be looking back and saying, this is a transition.
Yeah.
2,000 years ago when Jesus came, I think Jesus set the reset button on spiritual lives of the Jews in Israel at the time.
Yes.
And Jesus, remember when Jesus hung out with Nicodemus?
Yes.
And Jesus said, you must be born again. Jesus was basically telling that whole society, push the reset button. What the temple, all that stuff that's happening there, the religious acts, all that stuff is just a facade. It's about a relationship. And then if you look at church history, where this is really fun, about every 500 years,
Yes.
there's been a reset.
Yes.
So 500 years after Jesus, the church got in bed with the state, with the Roman Empire. And somebody had to say, no, reset. And 500 years after that, the East broke off from the Western church.
Yes.
And that was like another reset. And then 500 years ago, Martin Luther had to push reset again. And I think we're, about every 500 years, something major shifts. And this is part of that major shift. And we're just saying, what's next? And I'm really excited about what's next.
I love that you say that right now because that's really, this morning I woke up and I was listening to my devotional, praying, and I was having my conversation with God this morning. You know, we were going to talk today, and I really was like, God, what message do you want us to share with the world online? And He brought that to me, like, this is a fresh, new beginning, right? We're washed away again. Everyone's going to come into the church and be in a different mindset, or they're going to shift to a different church during this time. It's just going to happen. So you're going to have new people who are joining you. You're going to have new people who are doing new things, and it's a reset, just as you said. So what are you most excited about that you see God doing in the future of the Vineyard and our church and our congregation?
Yeah, I love that we're about people instead of like dead religion. And like that idea of like having a religious facade, it's about authenticity. It's about us being broken at times and needing community. It's about moving forward and actually having a heartfelt relationship with God that's real and it's life-giving instead of rules and regulations. And I'm really excited about all that stuff because that's all reset button stuff. When the church doesn't look down and judge the unchurched and de-churched, there's something beautiful about that, Lori, where we can just say, welcome. That the church should be a place of healing and wholeness. The church should be the healthiest thing in the world. And so that means us being authentic and real instead of wearing a mask when we walk in and pretend like everything's perfect. So there you go.
It's the truth though, right?
Yeah.
It is. You have to be where you really are. That was one of the things that we loved when we first came to the Vineyard, right? Was when we walked in the door and there was that person standing there that didn't even know us. Her name was Jessie. And she was an older lady in the church, and she was standing there and she said, hi, welcome. We're so excited to have you. And that was just so affirming because we were clueless. We were two young adults with two babies trailing behind us trying to figure out how to do life and figure out, because our 6-year-old said, who's Jesus? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now we got to tell him. And that can be overwhelming and scary for someone like me who had never been in the church. I was not raised in the church. My husband was. I was not. So that was really an overwhelming emotion, and have such a friendly reception. It's one of the reasons why we've been with the Vineyard for so long, because Vineyard has been that place for us, right? And I know that it continues to do that because I believe that it's a beautiful reflection of everything that Jesus, God, our mighty Father, is. Yeah. He's loving. He's gracious. Yeah. And he also has control over what is to happen. Am I wrong in that with this crazy COVID time? He knows what's next. He knows where we're going.
And there's a certain element of like just raw trust that things are going to be okay. Like I have trust in God to the point where I don't have to fear like the rest of society. And the church as a whole, we should like stand in that. Like fear, like I said before, fear kills us. And so we can actually say, God, we trust you in the middle of this because you've got the best heart, not only for the church, but for the people in the church and for the community as a whole. So we'll get through this. Yeah, absolutely.
I would ask this one thing for everyone as we're closing down now. I would say this one thing. There are so many people out there that are sitting in fear, that are afraid. What do I do? Where do I go? How do I move forward in this? How do I get out of this, just this uneasiness that's inside me? I don't want to be near someone. I don't want to touch someone. Yeah. We're afraid to hug each other again. What do you offer for someone who's sitting in that place?
Yeah. First, I would say, Lori, let's use wisdom, and at the same time, let's move forward in trust. And so, I would encourage you, if you're there and you're seized by fear, this is an exercise that I've done at church before, but I've said, why don't you just take your hands and hold them like a bowl, and like put your fear, every bit of fear in your hands, and hold it there. And then say, God, I give you my fear, and let it drop to the floor. And just like in your mind's eye, as well as in your disposition, just say, God, I let it go. I'm dropping this fear, and I choose faith over fear every time. And just tell yourselves that. I choose faith over fear in this situation. I let go of that fear. If you need to you're at Costco and you want to just like take your hands and go like this, go for it. It's a physical sign. It's something that you can tangibly do to help your heart realize the truth.
Yeah. It's such a release. I felt it even in that moment, right? I felt the release. I wanted mine to be a gentle release. I was like, oh, I don't want it to break. Right.
don't pick it back up, Lori. You gotta leave it there.
Oh, see, you heard him. I'm supposed to let it go. Trust Jesus, trust God. And that is one of our bold principles in my business that I do, is we believe and we say every day you have the option to choose faith or fear. You cannot have both. You cannot live in that place. You must decide which is where you want to be. Do you want to be in the dark or do you want to be in the light? I choose the light. That's where I choose to be. I choose to walk with God every day and Jesus every day. And they go, okay, I don't get it today. I don't understand it. I don't get the things that are happening. And yet I know you have me. Yeah. And I'm going to move forward.
That's beautiful, Lori.
And moving forward in that faith, there's so much that I don't get, right? You know my crazy life. You know all the things that are happening within my life, emotionally, physically, mentally, all of that. And you hear everyone else as well. Being a pastor during this time, oh my gosh, I can only imagine. I'm a realtor, I'm a mom, and I get the highs and lows of the emotions. I'm a wife, I get the highs and lows of the emotions. You must as well get so many of those.
Absolutely.
It's so hard, right?
Yeah, it is. And yet,
give it to God.
Give it to God, and there's just a raw trust and abandonment. Even stepping out in courage at times. I want to encourage you guys, step out in courage, be courageous in this season. Cause I think the future rewards some courageous acts and moving forward and thinking ahead of the curve. And that's what I want to be. I want to be that kingdom of God that's on the advance the whole time.
So let's finish there. What's next steps for Foothill Vineyard and the government and the reopening of the church?
Yeah, right now we're trying to figure all that out. I met with the governing board this last week, and we're this close to making some final decisions. But we're moving forward fast. Right now we're online strictly, but very soon we will be meeting in some homes in smaller groups, and then shortly after that we're going to be we'll do one Sunday before we officially open, where we're gathering together like an old school movie theater, where we just drive-in theater type style for 1 week, and then we're gonna open.
Bring your popcorn.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be great. So that's our plan, and we're, there's a certain point where we're saying, okay, God, what are you saying doing? And we cannot live in that fear, and so we're making decisions based off of God's kingdom advancing instead of the enemy.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah. Well, I'm personally praying for the Vineyard and all of you out there as well. I know, John, you are as well. We're praying every day for our first responders, for every person, every government official that's making decisions with regards to the health and safety of our communities.
Absolutely.
And our neighborhoods. I do know people who have been personally impacted by COVID-19 who have had deaths and loss due to it. So it is a real thing, and you need to be aware of it, and you need to practice the appropriate precautions, wisdom as you call it, to keep yourself and your family healthy and safe, and choose faith over any of that fear. John, any last words, and tell them when you're available and where they can find the Vineyard.
Yeah, we're on the corner, and we're in San Dimas off of Foothill and San Dimas Avenue. They're always welcome. You're welcome to stop by anytime.
He's here every day. I drive by and see him.
Yep. Or if you just want to call and just chat. I've had quite a few people just call that have never been to our church before, and they're like, John, can you pray with me? I would love to do that. Yeah, just call the church and set up an appointment, or just talk to me on the phone right then and there.
You can catch the church at 909-394-3023. Where are you guys online?
Yeah, we are on Facebook as well as YouTube, and you can check out our foothillvineyard.org website.
I'm so excited for the new opportunities, and I love that you said that. Everyone's got to reset. This is a new beginning. It truly is. It's not going to be church as it was. It's not going to be life as it was. It's going to be what we are now. Right?
Something brand new is coming.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah. I love change. As you know, I push for change. I'm a big, when are you going to change things?
Yeah.
Well,
it's coming.
Thank you.
Lori, thanks so much. This has been so fun.
It was a pleasure. Thank you again.